So there are millions of Americans voting in the presidential elections. Preliminary results from an exit polls that have also been conducted. And of course, Malvika, if we talk about the favorability factor, as many of the votes in the states that are now closing up, what is the favorability factor that we are looking at?
Well, I should mention that, what tends to happen is that states that typically vote for the Republican Party, there the voting ends sooner because the United States is divided into 9 time zones. And voting started at 7 a.m. Eastern time. And if we were to look at it based on the Eastern time, until 12 a.m. voting will continue. And Hawaii and Alaska will be the last states where voting is going to happen. So all that we are hearing right now are early results, early voting results from the red states where counting has already started. Here in the state of Maryland, the voting just concluded minutes ago, and in the adjacent room now, counting has started. So this is a typically blue state, and we do not yet know what the result will look like. What we are hearing from our colleagues at CBS News is also polling data, predictions that are coming in. But as we have seen in elections back home in India, polls are just representative. What will happen ultimately is anybody's guess, especially since this has been such a close race, and you've had both Democrats and Republican campaigning aggressively, the campaigns, the candidates, and also the volunteers, especially for the Democratic Party. They've been going knocking door to door, and the Trump campaign has been focusing on flashy big events and the pack that's led by Elon Musk and such influencers.
Right, but Malvika, when it comes to the timing of Kamala Harris or Donald Trump victory, what are the factors that actually it depends on? How fast the state counts their ballot or how close the results are?
I think the final results depends on, in each state there is an electoral college, and who gets the 270 electoral college count first. There it really doesn't depend on where the counting starts first or where it ends. It depends on the population of a particular state, how many people sent in mail-in votes, because the mail-in votes have to be manually counted. They're bunched together and then entered into a machine. I think 50 mail-in votes at a time, and then counted. So it really depends on how many people sent the mail-in votes, how many people came for early voting, how many people have just finished voting, which time zone a state is in. The counting is going to start as soon as voting ends in a particular state. So it's anybody's guess how long it could take for results to come in. But my sense is, based on the people I've talked to, that it'll at least take 2 days for voting to complete, because remember that a record number of people have cast their votes through mail-in votes. And another point that comes to mind right now is that it's in the Democratic, the blue states, where people tend to send more votes through mail-in ballot. Red states to be more conservative, and people usually go out to the polling booths to cast their votes.
So that means each state has its own rules when it comes to processing and counting of the ballots. As the polls close across the country, first on the East Coast, then results will start to come in. There would be many of them broadcasters who would be projecting the winner of each state. And also when it comes to as far as the race for the the US Senate and also for the House of Representatives. But right now, as the figures that are also coming in, I was just tracking, Malvika, the figures that come in now on the CBS News. On the 270 mark, that is the majority mark to be approached. 90 of them have gone in favor of Donald Trump, 27 in the favor of Kamala Harris. We are staying with those numbers. And of course, when it comes to the live broadcast, we'll just cut back to it. Of course, the important number for election night is 270.